Hello, all, and welcome to another episode of the Triple H podcast. Happy Hour Hoops, your one stop shop for enjoying a cold beverage, listening to our ice cold basketball takes. It's Dunny, it's Jake, as always, here to talk some hoops with you guys. Today, we got an interesting little pod today. We have some Team USA talk. We have the NBA 2K22 covers. They've been released. We're going to break it down. There's three different versions. We're going to talk about all of them. And then lastly, some Bucks Suns talk. But Jake, before we get into that, we have some breaking news, don't we?
Yeah, so we just found out heading into this pod as we segue into our Team USA talk that Bradley Beal has been placed in the health and safety protocols in Vegas, putting his return to play in jeopardy for the Tokyo Olympics. I'm assuming those guys are flying out maybe this weekend. I mean, early next week at the very latest. So we don't know what's going on with Bradley Beal. We'll see how that situation unfolds. I wondered, does that mean they go and get another guy that hasn't been in camp, or are we getting one of these young guys like Keldon Johnson or Darius Garland along with the team? It's like the young guy on the squad. It's not great news for a Team USA team that has not looked great to start in their preliminary games. Last week, lost 90-87 to Nigeria. And 90 to 83 or 88 to 83, something like that along the lines to Australia. Got back into form against Argentina last night. They shot the lights out of the ball in that game. They were killing it. Huge Zach LaVine dunk. Zach LaVine going to be getting a lot more run with his Bradley Beal news too. It looks like he's been getting a little more time with Pop now, but overall, it's been a weird start for Team USA. That is for sure. It's been a weird start. So Dunny, going forward with this, are you worried about Team USA? Do you have any worries? What has been kind of your read on them through the preliminary game so far?
Yeah, so when we were prepping for this pod, it was an easy answer no for me not being worried. Mm-hmm. But a little more worrisome now. I mean, that Bradley Beal news we just gave you guys, that happened 15 minutes ago. If you're listening live, if you're listening within the next few days, we found out as breaking news about the Beal news. So I am a little caught off guard by that. That has me a little worried. As a whole, though, I am not. Obviously, not great that you dropped those two games to Australia and Nigeria, but they were just straight up, outplayed. It's tough. They got hit in the mouth. They're not used to this style of play. I think we have innumerable amount of scorers on this team. We don't really have a type of floor general guy. I think it's just a lot of guys out there who can all do the same things, but now they're trying to play together. And I just think they weren't really ready or used to the Euro ball, and it kind of hit them in the face. But I think once the games start to count and these guys have been playing together for, a few weeks, I think Team USA is talented enough where they should be dropping no games when it counts. So that's the way I see it.
I wish I had your optimism, Dunny. I really do. I'm just worried. The thing that worries me the most is that we're seeing, and they mentioned on the broadcast the other night, but seeing the 3-point revolution kind of come into play in the Olympics for the first time, because they just got bombarded from the 3-point line, and both against Nigeria and Australia. It just didn't look like they had the perimeter defenders. And that's what we worried about, even with the Bradley Beal in the equation. Not a strong perimeter defender. Dame not known for his perimeter defense. And from that point forward, they don't have a big, they don't have an imposing guy to put down low at all. And so they can get attacked from multiple ways, I think, on the defensive side of the ball. They don't have a lot of options. They're not a very defensively versatile team. That's the word I was looking for there. So that's what worries me about them, is that they get caught in the wrong matchup in a tense game, and they just don't have guys to go out and get stops. Other than that, they've clearly looked like they still have a problem with the point guard position, like you said. Like they've been trying to figure it out on the fly. We saw some Draymond running the point. We saw some Bam running the point. We've seen Durant take the ball up. We've seen Tatum bring the ball up. We've seen Dame bring the ball up. It looks like Pop doesn't know where to go with that position. And if there is a guy like Bradley Beal can't go and play, shouldn't they be calling Trae Young? Like, shouldn't he be there already? Yeah. Shouldn't he be on the phone already? But shouldn't they give him that guy a call? Because I feel like he's exactly what they – I mean, he wouldn't help defensively. But something like that's really what worries me is that they're going to get into crunch time. Like, they play France game 1. France is going to be has Rudy Gobert. They're going to be good defensively, and they're going to be able to attack the weak points. They're a veteran, smart team. They're going to be able to attack those perimeters. I just don't know what this American team does when things aren't going all their way. I mean, you don't want to take too much stock into the prelims, but when that push came to shove, they didn't really answer the call in those first 2 games. And those are 2 good squads. So I'm interested to see what it looks like going forward. But I just don't know where the answers are on the roster they have right now for the problems that they have. I think it's going to be a theme throughout the Olympics, this problems that we've seen creep up at least.
Yeah, I mean, I think all that's fair, and you kind of alluded to this next section that we can segue into, and that's just basically like why they're losing. You mentioned a few points there. It seems like we're lacking a true interior presence, and then obviously a point guard, which we've both talked about a few times. And you're right, we have Bam, we have Draymond, but Bam has been not very impressive. The few minutes I've seen him play in these games, he really, it's almost like he doesn't want to play like he's one of the most dominant guys on the floor, but he certainly can be. It seems like everyone's just either playing shy, or my biggest thing is from the games that I've watched is, in large, it just looks like these players are just always looking for the foul to bail them out like they do in the NBA. I mean, it's sad to say, and, it's sad that's kind of how Team USA is representing us right now, but it really is true. I mean, these are all guys who have gotten great at creating shots and creating shot fakes to get fouled and get to the line. And, that's kind of what these guys build their game on in the NBA. You're talking Dame, KD, Tatum's gotten better at it the last few years. Bradley Beal, all these guys, Levine too. It just looks like they're playing soft. I mean, you're like overseas ball, Euro ball, like they don't really play like that. They kind of play hard nosed. They let them go a little bit. The whistles aren't flowing. And I think they noticed that come game 3, and they get a huge 108-80 victory over Argentina. They're like, all right, we're just going to put our heads down and score then. Because, I mean, there was plays that you could literally pinpoint. It was clear that players on Team USA were kind of not flopping, but just going up and throwing up these crazy layups, just anticipating a foul call. And then it wasn't there. And then, then all of a sudden you're late getting back on defense, and the opposing team has 2. So I think that's the biggest thing for me why they're losing. Obviously, the point guard thing, that's an issue too, but that's got to be the biggest thing for me.
Yeah, there's no Scott Foster in the NBA to give you those calls.
No,
or in FIBA, I should say. Yeah. It's been interesting to see them kind of adventure on offense, and it's got to be weird. This is the first time Pop's been the coach. It's been Coach K all these years. And so I'm sure that there's a little bit of a learning curve. I mean, it's just a different voice from what these guys expect when they're usually with Team USA. I mean, there's some veterans on this squad from past Olympics, but anybody has been with Coach K. It's probably little bit of a different offense, a little bit of a different feel. And it's just interesting. That's why a guy like Keldon Johnson, with the Bradley Beal news, I wouldn't be surprised if he shows up on this Olympic roster just because he's so familiar with Pop's system and everything. And I think, honestly, I don't know why they scheduled Australia against the U.S. because Patty Mills knows, if anybody knows what the Spurs offense and defense is going to be, it's Patty Mills. Dude's been there for how fucking long now, and he was just dicing them up. And it was like, yep, Patty knows.
I didn't realize how many just ballers the Australian team had, the Australian national team. We had Patty Mills, Joe Ingles. Simmons usually plays with them, but he wasn't. Uh,
Pretty sure Kyrie is technically Australian too and can play for them if he wanted to.
wow.
Yeah.
Someone else. Oh, Delvedova, Dante Exum.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Still waiting for Dante Exum to break out.
Yeah, right. No, they had some good talent over there. I mean, again, I've kind of heard the take the last few days regarding Team USA. Oh, it's because, back when we were dominant, it was Kobe, LeBron were playing, and all the best guys from the best teams were playing. It's like we kind of still have that, like outside of obviously guys like Harden, Curry, LeBron, you'd like to see them out there. But I mean, as far as talent goes, when you line it up team to team, we are still better than every team that we can match up against. It's just, toughness, who's wanting it more right now, and who's playing better.
Mm-hmm.
Also, for some reason, it looks like it's so tough to play with that basketball that they use.
That's what doesn't it look like it's just not ever going to go in? Like, I feel like it's never going in.
I feel like the misses with it, just like if you miss like horribly with that. Like I've seen Tatum airball like in a Celtics game like once in my life, dude. He threw up like 3 the other night.
Yeah.
I was like,
it also just looks. I remember seeing Beal like take a 3 last night, and it bounced like the weirdest way I've ever seen a basketball like rim around and go in. Like it just like was hanging on. Yeah, I don't know. There's something weird with that basketball. I'm with you 100%.
I feel like that basketball is like equivalent to like double rims on like a shitty hoop. Like the Spalding ball is like single rim, like exactly, it's the perfect amount of like bend to it too. Very forgiving, and then like this feeble ball that they use is just double rim. That's how I see it.
I think you're onto something. I think they're putting it against the Americans. Not
one of my excuses of why they're losing.
I like it. I think we can go with it.
On all the minutes.
We might have lost you here, Dunny. All right, yeah, let's keep it moving. We will go into the 2K covers here in a second. Let's see if we can get Dunny back on here. And there's Dunnyception popping up in the studio. He's back. I don't know what you were saying at the end of that there.
I was just saying that's not a legitimate excuse of why they're losing. Just something I noticed about the basketball.
I think it's good. I think it's a good excuse. I think we should roll with it.
All right, then it is my excuse. The basketball is why they're losing.
All right, so let's go. So, what are you on a scale of 1 to 10 before we go on? How worried are you?
With the Bradley Beal news and with Tatum having a sore knee now and him being held out of last game, I'm up to a 4 out of 10 worried.
Okay, 4 out of 10. I'm at like a 6 right now. And I'm very scared about that France. I'm very scared about that France game 1, because if they look like shit there, it's going to be a slippery slope for this team.
Man.
Yeah, you never know when you least expect it. Is it bad that I wish Paul George was on this team? Because I really wish Paul George was on this team.
No, I would like Paul George on this team.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever going to play American basketball again after his horrific. Yeah. Like, I still remember where I was when I watched that. That's like, anyways, moving forward, let's get to more exciting things. I guess more. Well, the Olympics are exciting, but I don't know what's more exciting than 2K coming out every year. Today we got the cover athletes. Obviously, a great honor among the NBA and now the WNBA, as Luka is our main cover athlete. Luka Doncic, well deserved, be on the main cover for 2K. We will also have Candace Parker gracing the GameStop exclusive cover, the first time a woman has been on the cover of 2K. Great honor for Candace. Really excited, and kind of just want to get the GameStop version just so I can have the Candace covered. That's kind of it. And the 75th anniversary with our boy that we were just talking about, Kevin Durant, alongside Dirk Nowitzki and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Dunny, an exciting day. Always to see the 2K covers. What were your first thoughts when you found out that Luka was the cover athlete? Was there anybody else that you had in mind? when they did the little tease yesterday?
I don't know. I thought maybe we would see just a plain old Steph Curry one.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, no. I kind of had a hunch it would be Luka, but even though I was expecting it a little bit, I was also equally as excited. I think it just makes sense. I mean, Luka Magic, 2K tweeted that out themselves. It just makes sense. Like he's an electric player. He's one of the guys on the rise to take over as the face of this league. He's kind of loved by almost everyone. Like you don't really talk to too many basketball fans who dislike Luka Doncic. And yeah, it makes sense. He's definitely a 2K cover athlete. Now will be on the cover of 2K22. So I'm excited for Luka. I was excited for this. I really liked it.
Yeah, it was dope. It's always good to see them get creative, and the anniversary cover is a great touch.
So sick, dude.
Seeing Kareem on the cover of a 2K game is awesome. Like we had the Jordan one a couple years ago. That was legendary.
Yeah.
How much of the Jordan mode did you play? Because I didn't play as much as I wanted to, but I feel like I should go buy it and play it again.
That was 2K11, right?
I believe so, yeah.
So 2K11 was like hands down by far my favorite 2K. Like I thought the My Player was at its peak then.
Mm-hmm.
And I did play those Jordan moments kind of frequently.
They're hard. Like some of those were difficult.
The flu game, dude, was so difficult.
And he's can't even run or anything.
Yeah, and if you like played it on expert, you had to like emulate Michael's stats too. So that was just you could imagine. You could imagine it was hard to do what MJ did.
To be Michael Jordan, what?
No, but I do love these, whether they're the legendary editions we've seen with Kobe and Shaq, the anniversary edition. It's really sick. And I honestly think as far as like the animations goes and like how aesthetically pleasing each one is, I like all of them. I think the Candace Parker one's great too. But I think I like the 75th anniversary edition the best. It has the diamond logo on it. Like you mentioned, Kareem looks sick on it. Dirk, KD. KD actually tweeted out today, honored to share NBA 2K's 75th anniversary cover with the greats with the prayers up emoji, and then he tagged Kareem and Dirk. So yeah, I really like these. You know what I'm worried about though, and I was actually just thinking about this today because I was like, oh, I wonder which one I'm gonna buy. And I was like, the last like 3 years, I've just bought in 2K on my Xbox. I just buy it in the Xbox store. So I'm wondering, are we getting to the point in life and time where 2K covers and, just game covers in general are becoming obsolete?
Yeah. Especially like PS5s only have the digital only editions and everything. Yeah. They still do have to put, at least you get them on the little box, but it's not the same as like as cover athletes of old, everybody getting the cover. I do what you mean.
Just like having that, like it's a tangible item, you know what I mean? It's great that they can live forever on social media, but it is a little strange, I was legitimately, because like this, I don't know, I feel like haven't been as excited about covers in a while as I was today with these ones. But then I was thinking about it, I'm like, it's because I haven't had one since like 2017. Yeah. But maybe I will, like you said, maybe I'll run down to GameStop, grab one, because I do. Maybe every other year I'll buy, a disc copy just to have it, and maybe I'll start doing a collecting thing because they are cool, man, and they're pretty vintage.
Yeah, and to have them like in the future would be dope too. Like if you just have all the 2K. See, I've never been a I understood why people wanted to save all their video games. I was always the person that just traded them in all the time, just to get a little extra cash no matter what. So I'm with that, but like, yeah, it would be kind of cool to go back and figure out like if I could find. I wonder if they got them. Like, I wonder how hard they are to get like a 2K11 right now. That would be.
I think I still have my copy of 2K11 just because I was on the trade-in grind too, but like that was legitimately like probably top 3 video game for me ever, not even just 2Ks.
Yeah, I respect that. I do. There was something else I wanted to say about 2K, but I don't remember what I was going to say about this. Yeah, I don't know what else I got there. I'm excited about this year, about 2K upcoming. It's I'm interested to see what kind of stuff we get in the next gen, like how much more we're gonna get besides like a big ass neighborhood, a city to explore.
Yeah,
But
right.
it'll be fun going forward. All right, well that'll do it for the podcast version here. So like, subscribe, follow us on all our socials. Oh, this is what I was gonna say. It has nothing to do with 2K. Today is our 1-year Twitter anniversary of Happy Hour.
Really?
Just got it to our account. I just sent the tweet out. That's wild. It's been a year. The bubble was starting up in like 2 weeks. So
Let's go, dude. That's I was gonna say, yeah, we did start doing this right around this time last year.
Yeah.
1 year, I think we're a little over 300 followers. So for any of the followers who are listening to this, we appreciate you muchly.
Always. Year flies by. What a year it has been since last July. We've been dealing with it's nothing crazy at all, just normal year.
It's great too because last year this time the spreads of the games weren't even being impacted by fans. But now when we look at the spreads of the games, every time it goes home or away, it changes the spread that much more. So
and let's get into it. The spread tonight. Oh, I have this wrong. That is incorrect. Spread tonight. The Bucks.
I freeze.
Gunny, you are frozen, right? Nope, you're back. You're back on here. I had Bucks at Suns. It is Suns in Milwaukee at the Bucks. This series has been the same spread every single game. It has been 4.5 for the home team. And exactly to your point, that's wild. 4.5 exactly on the dot every single game. But it's stuck at that. Go ahead.
No, yeah, and then I was gonna say, and then it just flips for who's ever home. So it is pretty wild.
And the home team has covered every single game, not even a question. So we've got Game 4, Suns up 2-1. Game 3, Bucks 120-100. Giannis had 41, 13, and 6. The last 2 games, Giannis has just been absolutely incredible. Gunny, going into this Game 4, what needs to be different? The Suns need to score and withhold the Giannis thing. But what do you expect out of tonight's Game 4? We were talking about the last couple, I think during Game 2, about how exciting these Game 4s can be. Such a pivotal game in the series. I mean, the Suns go up 3-1, going back to Phoenix in front of all those bros there. It's going to be hard. Yeah. It's going to be hard for Milwaukee to get out of there. So what are you expecting from tonight?
Oof. I expect this to be the tightest game of the series thus far. I think the Suns have a slight edge, and I will tell you why. One, I don't think it's possible for Devin Booker to shoot as poorly as he did last game. Monty Williams took him out like real early, even when they still had a chance to climb back into that game. I think Book may have asked to sit down. Something wasn't right with Devin Booker. Yeah. I don't believe we'll see that again. I also don't believe that we will see another 40-point performance from Giannis, because I like to think that Monty Williams and the Phoenix Suns as a whole will make some adjustments, because if he scores 43 games in a row, that I might just, melt into my couch while watching this game. And then reason number 3, DeAndre Ayton was having an incredible game last game and then got into the Scotty Foster foul trouble regime. And same thing was Book. He kind of just had to sit. And then Monty Williams once it got out of hand, never put Ayton back in the game, and he didn't even foul out. He only had 5 fouls, but he was getting them, right at the wrong times, or the right times if you're pulling for Milwaukee. And it just those 3 things just really obviously changed the game. Last game we saw Milwaukee be able to kind of dominate at times, and Middleton and Holiday both stepped up, and we haven't really seen that happen often.
Yeah.
So, I wouldn't be surprised if this game kind of gets flipped on its head and it's a little bit of the opposite of what we saw last time out.
Well, when you're at home, your role players step up. So it was really nice to see Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday show up. It was the Scott Foster game, no matter what. Like, The second we did a little, not even a little digging, went to the NBA refs page, like, oh, who's reffing tonight? They didn't even put out a Game 3 tweet for Scott Foster because they knew how bad the reaction would be. Everybody knew the second Scott got announced what was coming in that Chris Paul game. It's now 0-12, I believe the record is. It's not a great look for the league. It really isn't. No. The fact that it's still going on and everybody just goes into a game and it's blowing up. And maybe it's just such a small part of NBA Twitter that they know that it's not that big of a deal because it's not like the masses that know about this. But the people that know, like, it's every time he shows up, we know some fuck shit's going to happen in that playoff game. It never fails. And it happened in Game 3. I mean, Ayton, 3 fouls at the end of the first half, and then he gets up to 5 pretty quickly there. And Giannis just had his way. Like, Giannis knows he's going to get these calls at home. And he especially looked very aggressive in Game 2, but wasn't it like 20 points in the third quarter or whatever like that he had? He came out the second half more aggressive. Game 3, he was aggressive the whole time and kind of asserted his dominance.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
So I'm always going to shit on Scott Foster and like that whole thing because it definitely is real to a certain degree. But while I do say that, I think Giannis also had a beastly game the last 2 games, especially last game. And I mean, you could see just the coverage the Suns were trying to throw at him. Like, they were trying to be physical with him. Mm-hmm. And he was just catching. And as soon as he felt the first contact, like, he probably had 6 and 1s last game.
Yeah.
He was earning those fouls for sure.
All right. So go ahead.
No, it's just, I think as a team, they maybe the fouls are a little lopsided in Milwaukee's favor, but Giannis, he got his money's worth as far as the whistle goes.
He had 22 free throws in game.
Yeah.
That's a lot of free throws, but that's
a little wild.
He has that effect though. I mean, he is the most physically dominant superstar we have, maybe outside of Embiid, but I'd probably put Giannis ahead of him. And that's just what he's going to do. And maybe this is just the Giannis series. That's the thought that's been popping through my head. The going down 2-0, all the things that come with that. This team has gone down in the series against Atlanta, and they went down in the series against Brooklyn, and they came back and battled. Maybe that's just the story of this team. So for tonight, what is your score? What is your prediction? Ooh. How are you feeling for Game 4 before we head off here?
So I said it was going to be tightest game of the series, I think. I think we're going to have a 103-101 Suns victory.
Oh, so you're right. You're going with the Suns. Suns for a cover and a win.
Yeah, I feel good about the cover. That's what I took for my bet of the night. Not as great about the win straight up, but I think they're going to do it. I think Book's going to come in and light it up, man.
I think it is the Booker game tonight. I'm going with the Suns as well. I'm going with a close game like that too. Let's go 109-106. Booker 3 at the end for the win. And we get a nice dramatic one. And the Giannis game was the game that the Bucks will get in this. But yeah, I think the Suns take it tonight. We go back to Phoenix with a chance to win the title on Saturday night. Suns future's better. I'm a part of the team now. We're going back to Phoenix Saturday night, win the title. We'll see. Let's see what happens. All right. Thank you all for joining. Appreciate you. Have a great night. Enjoy the games. Stay hydrated. And go Suns, I guess. Yeah. Fuck it.
Later, guys.